I'm Daemonxel, and this is your Eve Echoes Community News, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week. But first, if you can tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, and of course, you could always stay up to date with everything that this channel has to offer. Now, I do want to say that there was some controversy last week about the first work rule death on our server, where I credited both Mate and Silent and Bot5. Now, the reason for this is, and yes, it's been cleared up, it was a bot, Beast of the South, plus Maddie, that was on the kill mail. However, the kill mail was sent to me by multiple people, claiming that they were all part of it, and since Beast of the South is part of the Silent Federation, so yeah, I was kind of right with saying it went to Silent. But yeah, on the official kill mail, it's just Beast of the South and Maddie. So theft is not a uncommon practice in EVE. In fact, we had that story last episode about how the Grift squad was able to acquire 151.2 billion from Rebel Alliance, but at the same time, around the same time, there was another theft, this time from Void. Now, this theft started off as a blue-on-blue incident which occurred last week between a member of Void as well as a member of OG. Now, this dispute took a dramatic turn after a private conversation between the two individuals. Now, from what I'm told, that the victim of the blue-on-blue incident's feelings were hurt from both the kill as well as the subjects that were brought up within the conversation. Unfortunately, this led to more blue-on-blue events between some of the members' involved corporations. Now, as this was escalating, the diplomats of both Void and OG were working overtime together to try and resolve and defuse the situation between both corporations. However, before the situation could get resolved, the main parties both left Void and OG without any explanation whatsoever. And this is where the theft comes into play. Now, the Void pilot himself was under the name Ray F. Murray, and in an interview with Daemonxel, I was given the guy's clone ID as well as a Discord handle, or ID. But before he left, he proceeded to loot all of the assets and ISK from the corporation hangars and wallet before leaving the corporation. Now, the total amount of ISK stolen, if you added everything up, was to be averaged around 100 to 130 billion. The biggest things that were stolen from the corporation was the red command module BP for Rorqual, which I'm told is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 billion for that blueprint, as well as enough cap parts to build a Rorqual as well as a carrier. In liquid ISK assets, 5 billion was stolen from the wallet. Now, you may be wondering which corporation I am talking about within Void, and it is none other than the Cat Skull Cartel. That's correct, Captain Benzi's own corporation. Now, any attempt to get an explanation from that pilot was met with troll-like behavior, and Void learned the same day that the player from the OG side was also no longer part of the OG Alliance. I am told in the official statement at the end that since they took their drama with them on their way out, and are no longer required to respect the code of ethics and conduct of our respected alliances, Void and OG have decided to conclude the case. But trust me, there is more to the story. In fact, you'll just have to wait until we get to the bounty board section. Now, over the last week, the tensions between the Silent Federation and the Terran Federation have been rising steadily, with fights being fought in several of their systems. Several timers were saved in the evening hours for the 4YO Citadel as well as a few other Citadels. However, there were several Citadel timers that were not met. Now, most of these fights for the shield as well as the armor timers, Silent did bring forces numbering around 70 for a fair fighting chance. These fleets were met as well with Terran Federation, and in one instance, backup from Dead Space Corporation in a Macarial fleet, which pincered in Silent forces between both fleets. On that evening, both timers were saved. However, there was no saving the system of TPG Tech DD belonging to 6 Mid Corporation, as Silent has won the shield armor and on the final structure timer brought a fleet of 200 as well as 13 capital ships. The Citadel was taken over and in toast and now belongs to Silent. Feeling the pressure mounting from several of these fights as well as more timers coming up, J-Factor, the leader of the Legend Corporation, has decided to cut ties with Terran Federation, leaving the Alliance and sparing the war. Now I am told that Terran Federation diplomats have been in talks with Silent, and I'm sure that all hostilities have ceased towards Terran Federation and that the war was solely against Legend Corporation. Now I did reach out to J-Factor for a statement, and he states that after nearly a year of relentless harassment by Silent, Legend has elected to separate from any industry or PvE play. We are fully deploying in the north, and after only 2 days have done nearly 20 billion in damage. We're looking for pilots who have faced similar backlash from Silent for a new venture that will include PPK offers living in Silent space. Terran Federation has also released an official statement saying that Bug's gonna do bug things. We knew eventual hostilities with Silent would come since their first demands to remove Allandria as our intel asset. Then came the storm of complaints from Michael J.D. as he demanded that we remove Legend during the Philly campaign. Then veiled contract J.D. claimed so that Mate could accept a hit against Terran Federation, free from getting Silent involved, despite still holding the highest leadership positions within his alliance. Then when we lost our first capital ship to them, we clapped back by killing one of theirs. Then they killed another one of ours, then we killed another one of theirs in our space. Us defending our space and killing a hostile was clearly the trigger for the war, since prior there were no mass fleet movements in cache from Silent prior. The Legend is Toxic Battlecry simply became the lazy callous bell to handle a bruised ego. Early engagements, despite being outnumbered, went swimmingly, chasing off fleets and winning engagements while outnumbered in the true Federation ways of old. However, the Silent fleet numbers and caps quickly changed from good fight size to flat-out swarms and blobs that we could no longer contest. The demands from Silent to remove Legend for a ceasing hostilities was universally rebuffed by the entire organization, save Legend and J-Factor, who proposed leaving Terran Federation to save our structural assets. After days of deliberation, J-Factor decided to pull the trigger and remove Legend from Terran Federation. We in the Federation truly appreciate the level of professionalism and dedication the pilots of Legend showed, and J-Factor in particular had made great strides to redefine himself free from the old bullshit from the Pantheon era. Word on the street is that they will be deploying solo against Silent to give them a fight they are looking for. We wish both sides the best of luck in their conflict as we in Terran Federation look to rebuild our homeland once more. So in the weeks to come, we will be looking in the north to see what comes of this endeavor. Will Silent rout them out from their territory, or will J-Factor form more blues and bigger numbers to give Silent a bigger headache? And in other reaches in New Eden, leadership changes in No Please Stop. An announcement went out to congratulate CRB Canopus in taking over the position of executor for No Please Stop. It goes on to say that as a PvP purist and founder of No from day one, he has the best intentions for this alliance at heart and will guide us forward in the most fun way possible. So congratulations to Canopus for taking over that executor spot, and we expect to see great things from No in the future. And now we look over towards Wicked Creek, where OG is running their first ever Cannonball Run event. Now, if you're not familiar with Cannonball Run, it's a movie from the early 80s where it's all these people doing a cross-country race to win a prize. Now, OG is going to do a twist on that variation by using mining ships. That's right. The rules are simple. You must be in a mining ship. You can fit it however you want, but the first one to make it from 1L to the designated system and mine a full load and make it back to 1L wins. There's no low sec, there's no high sec, it's all null sec. So I don't know how far they're going to set the destination away from 1L, but They are going to have to contend with pirates, gate camps, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure it's not going to just be in their region. So look out for those cannonball runners on your day-to-day operations. I know I don't have the date of the event, so you're gonna have to bear with me or use your intel sources to find out when OG is running this event so you can hunt down those little cannonball miners. But it is open to all blues of OG. And obviously, there is no SRP for this. There is no multi-boxing. You get one character, one chance, and of course, as every OG event, drinking is recommended. Now, in the last episode, we did cover the Grift Squad theft from Rebel Allaince to the tune of 151.2 billion. And now, this week, Allaince, the executor of Rebel Allaince, wants to tell his side of the story and just to clarify a few things that we talked about in the last episode. Now, one of the first points of contention that Line wanted to make was in the last episode around the 1047 mark, where we talked about the cleaning out of SED citadels through a partnership or a contract with No through Rebel Allaince. This was actually false. He does say that the contract did not go through and that these citadels were actually taken out by OG and Void in their clearing of Detroit. The other point of contention is basically what they have stolen. He wants to clarify that he did give things out as gifts, and he doesn't really consider it as stolen pieces of property to bolster that amount of 151.2 billion. And it basically states that if anyone has any questions about how Allaince gives things away as gifts, just contact Sinbad about how he does things, or contact Durkadur about how he gives things away just as gifts. I mean, if that's the case, if you did want to give your favorite news anchor here a dreadnought or a carrier as a gift, I would love to have it. Just saying. I mean, I'm not being bribed or anything like that, but a gift is always welcome. I do accept gifts from all listeners, especially those in the capital range. But no, he wanted to state that the capital ships program was designed to provide capitals to those that have skills or have reset their skills to match or to fly those capitals, and that the capital was freely used. But they stated to the cap pilots, the insurance would only apply for CTAs and home defense. So if you lost that capital to, say, ratting or a gate camp or a non-sanctioned event from Rebel Allaince, the total was on you. Allaince wants it known that the total cost of what they lost was 16.5 billion. And he does contest several points in the spreadsheet that we shown last week. He does say that Cairo, as an FC, did cost him things, such as one Citadel, one Archon, because he failed to lead the fleet. And that after he did lose that Citadel, Allaince did decide to keep him away from moving the stuff like assets and ships and stuff like that. And they gave the mission to BEB Corp, which he states that they did their job perfectly. Now, I am looking at the spreadsheet that he sent me, and everything that is in blue, he says, are gifts that he gave out. That would require 2 POSs, 3 REMs, 1 Orca, and 1 Macaro, given out as gifts. Now, I'm not really sure what the green highlighted parts are with the 3.5 Nagelfars and the 2 Nidhoggers. It does say, see the note, but I'm not seeing any notes that he did send me on. Or it could be the note basically saying how they give the carriers out to their pilots for home defense and CTAs. He would also like to contest the point that Cairo said that Honk didn't know anything of what they said, that they are liars, and he has screenshots to prove it, including how Helper Dog knew all about it and how they were actively in the scam from the beginning. Now, I know I did say in the last episode that Honk leadership did know what was going on, but they treated it as a side hustle, not really affiliated and led by Honk, but just members in Honk that did the deed. Now, he claims that Honk knew all about this because not only this screenshot, but also from the Something Awful forums where Cairo posted everything on here which he had access to. Now, he also did reach out to Hot Dog as a Diplo for Honk, claiming everything about this, and Hot Dog was basically saying that these are photoshopped and clearly you can't believe what it said here. I've actually had a really good laugh when I read this. you have to know Hot Dog personally to know this kind of Diplo, but these were good. You just read them. Just read them. It's good. Now, we did talk about the loss of the Citadel, the loss of the Nag from Rebel Alliance. Now, we covered these in episodes further back about how the one died gate camping, and how the one, I think it was on a big kill, how the Nereus died carrying the Citadel. Now, in this op, there was an after-action report that Line did share with me from Cairo, saying that the op began with a silent ping to a few online members near Sandeya. The goal was to retrieve a Corp outpost from Sandeya and deliver it to IL-TAC for anchoring. Our original route was through Sandeya to JK Tech Q, but it was camped by WHO, part of No Please Stop, so they diverted the op staging to Asa. From Asa, they began the route from Asa to JK, avoiding 1P tag WGB, obviously, with one Daredevil, one CTA fit VNI, one Armageddon 2, and of course the Nereus that was carrying the Citadel. He states that they held one ship from the fleet on the in and out gates of each system. The route was mostly uneventful, and at GTEC AOTH, their Armageddon 2 left the fleet. They proceeded down the route, scouting each system as they went, but in 3, 6, and Tech HZ, they spotted 2 neutrals, but no visual on the in and out gate. The Nereus was jumped in system, and Orc Daredevil landed on grid while the gate cloak on the Nereus was almost over. The Nereus pilot tried to warp away, but the Daredevil successfully made the tackle. That's when their own fleet's Daredevil engaged, but was quickly killed. The fleet's VNA landed on the grid and was locked and fired onto by the hostile Daredevil, breaking shields, but by this time the Nereus had been killed. The hostile was unfortunately +4 stabbed, so it was disengaged and warped. The VNI stayed at the wreck to defend it, but the Daredevil returned to pop the wreck and not engage, so there was a failure of the op itself. He does state that the major flaw in the operation was a poorly fit Nereus hauling to the Citadel. All haulers fits will be screened before future move ops commenced, and that their scouting was very good and by the book. However, no one did bring a scanner, which could have prevented the loss, and our scout Daredevil should have been assigned to one. Allaince does go on to say how Cairo is the biggest thief in Eve Echoes, and that their ship capital programs are still available for those who do want it. On the 2nd of July, Allaince put out a message to the Allaince stating that he hopes everyone's in good health, and from the principle of the new blood, he wanted to reposition our Corp leadership. You can open a ticket at the ticket bot for those that want to become an officer or put an application in to become an officer. So all leadership has basically been upturned. Obviously not him because he runs the thing, but those that did want to apply for an officer position can do so. Now, you can't apply for the same position that you held previously just because they're cleaning house and they want to make sure that everything's in place as they move forward. Now, he did also state that when he did make this post on the 2nd, he already knew that Cairo was going to do the theft, and that Cairo knew that everything was over and he was not going to be able to get anything more. He did go on to say that before Cairo did leave the corporation, he was involved in several blue-on-blue attacks against Void, trying to start a war between Void and Rebel Alliance. So this is his side of the story. He wanted to leave it there, but he did want to say his piece, and now he wants to put everything behind him and move forward. So he does want to know that if you are looking for a new Corp or a new Alliance, they do have spots available in Rebel Alliance, and their CAP program is still ongoing. This week in the Corp Alliance Spotlight is FSociety, WHO Tag, and they are within the No Please Stop Alliance. FSociety is a corporation fully born into No Please Stop in the US time zone. They are a military mercenary group who likes to PvP and is known for our WHO sniper Macario fleet throughout New Eden. Now, FSociety was created by ZX Manev and Mr. Kilroy to spread positivity and laughs while PvPing. So if you're looking for a good time to have with friends, killing either on contract or off contract, the corporation is always welcome new applicants to their ranks. Now, if you are looking to put an application in, the link to their Discord will be in the description below. And on a personal note, I do know several people throughout FSociety. They are a great bunch of pilots. In fact, one of the new junior content creators, Chicken, is actually among their citizenry. This week, we do have a new scalp up for taking on the bounty board. Remember we talked about this earlier, the theft from Cat Skull cartel within the Void Alliance? Well, there is now a bounty on the corporation that member went to. So the bounty is on Ray F. Murray, as well as the federal corporation, that is FCSA, in the amount of 10% up to $1 billion in payouts, because they have the wise idea to clean out the Corp assets of EMSD, the Cat Skull Cartel Indie Corporation. Now, this contract is a PPK. It is starting from the time that this episode goes live till the end of, I believe, next week, when the next episode will go live. Now, for getting your payment for these scalps, you can contact Boris Benson in-game, or you can contact him on his Discord name, which will be provided in the description below. Happy hunting out there, all you bounty hunters. Get those scalps. This week on What the Fit, we start off with not so much a WTF, but more of a WHY. We got all sorts of explorers out there. You know, Asteros, Explorer Frigs, the Interceptor King. But have you ever seen an exploring Thrasher 3? Well, neither have I, but now we all have. This next pilot hurts me to the core. This Vindy pilot looks good on the tank, and the mids are semi-questionable. However, look at the highs. Ugh. Missiles? Missiles. Fucking missiles. It's fucking sacrilege, is what we have right here. I can't. Let's just move on. The next is a dummy pilot who wants the thrill of flying in the danger zone with his small and medium tank for a battleship. That's right, a medium shield booster and a small armor repper to save the day. Now, as always, if you come across a kill which kind of makes you scratch your head and say, what the fit, just send it in to me, we'll take a look at it, and we'll see if it makes the list. Now, before we start the big kills of the week, there is an honorable mention that goes out to Ret C with this 3.3 billion Nightmare kill with just a Catalyst 2 interdictor and a Catalyst 1 interdictor. The power of Serpentis. Starting off the big kills this week, we have Silent with a 7.9 billion Rattlesnake kill and 2 Orca kills, one at 6.7 billion, one at 9.7 billion. Wolf comes in next with a staggering 14.6 billion Succubus kill. Look at all those A-types. And I'm also told that it also had integrated rigs, but that is one expensive frig right there. Ret C comes in next with a 10.6 billion Orca kill. AAA Ad Astra with a 7.1 billion Macario kill. No Please Stop gets a 6 billion APOC Striker kill. 3 Orca kills, one at 6.8 billion, one at 16.2, and the last at 10.9. And they also nabbed themselves a 6.1 billion Balgorn kill. The Brethren Court gets a 7.1 billion Vindicator kill. Terran Federation also gets a kill this week with a 17.8 billion Rattlesnake kill. The Space Cows get a 22.3 billion Barghest kill. And that's going to finish us off for the big kills of the week. Now, let's move on to your capital kills of the week. And to start us off is the Flying Circus, the Spanish Inquisition, with a 36 billion Nidhogger kill. Wolf comes next with a 42.1 billion Thanatos kill. The Brethren Court caught themselves 2 Nidhoggers, one at 36 billion, the other at 32.3 billion. OG gets some kills on the cap list. They got 2 Naglfar kills, one at 37.7 billion, one at 36.5, and one 35.1 billion Nidhogger kill. Exodus also gets themselves a Naglfar with a 37 point nothing billion price tag. Sorry about that. No Please Stop gets a Nidhogger kill 35.8 billion. Now let's get on to everyone's favorite part of the show. That's right, the free Omega Combo giveaway. Your chance of winning a free Omega Combo. Now we do have this split up. One in PvP kills, one in industrial kills, and unfortunately there were not many entries this week. So by default, in the industrial category, Kevinator 1990 wins with a 4.3 billion Orca kill. That's right. And now moving on to the PvP section, we only have 2 entries this week. One is Augie Augie Oi Oi with a 1.431 billion MOA interdictor kill. And the winner of this week's 30-day Omega Combo in the PvP side is Mistrix Meow with a 1.449 billion Cinnabon kill. Congratulations, guys, on winning your prizes. Get with me on Discord, and I'll tell you how you can get them out to you. Now, if you need more news in your life, there's a couple places I'm going to send you off to. First is Sky News, Russia's premier Eve Echoes news outlet. Yes, the videos are in Russian. However, there are subtitles, so you can read along. They have a great production team and a great outfit over there, so give them a look, will you? Also, we have the legendary Echoes of New Eden podcast featuring Rambo and Taylor Rick. Now, this past week was done in the EU time zone, so if you weren't live for that show, you could just hit it up in any of your local spots to either watch the video on YouTube or listen in on Spotify or wherever else you can listen to that show. Now, if you want to be a part of the audience, the usual times are 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know what that calculates out to wherever you are, but that's what it is for me. And you can be a part of it on their Discord, so jump on there and have a great time. Also, there is the New Eden Radio with a great live show every Sunday where the community cuts together, talks about news, listens to some jams, and just talks. No politics, nothing to get upset about. Just go have a good time. That's going to do it for me. So remember, send me those kill mails. I wish you guys have a great week, a great weekend. Fly safe, and remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front.